Merry Christmas. Season's greetings to you all, lovers of Mela 98.3 FM, known famously described as the sound of Lagos. It is Boxing Day, the 26th in the month of December 2025. Actually, the very popular misconception about Boxing Day is the original essence of Boxing Day. We used to think it's about, the physical fight or rivalry or struggle. But of course, it's quite misunderstood, often misunderstood from the sound of its name. Some people mistake it for a physical fight, but that's not what it is. It's far from that we have under the Christmas tree. Yes, this is the day that you now unbox them. You do exchange of gifts and then you unbox them. That's why it's Boxing Day. So happy Boxing Day to everyone listening, and also Merry Christmas. I don't think it's too late to still say happy Christmas and blissful Christmas to everyone. This is the sound of Lagos. It's still the Morning Express right here, and of course, like we're always dating and abreast of happenings, what's going on in our newspapers. So you're welcome on board. My name is Tūkbe Akinyosoye, and we'll be giving several analyses and perspectives to the issues we have with the help of our in-house analyst, as always. That's what we do on Trends in the Papers on Mela 98.3 FM. And you can stream right there. Want to enjoy how it's going on in the studio. You can definitely do well to join the conversation via those channels. You can also listen via Radio Garden. Just download the Radio Garden app. Go to Apple Store or Play Store and download the Radio Garden app. And then you can also even listen via Radio Garden on the website, right? So you have numerous avenue. It's Friday, thank God it's Friday, and of course it's holiday. Happy holiday. We have multiple celebrations today actually. So multiple celebrations to everyone in our dailies this morning. You're welcome on board Trends in the Papers on Mela 98.3 FM, Facebook and YouTube at Mela 98.3 FM. That's the handle. And you can also download the Radio Garden app so you can get first-hand content right from the stable of Mela 98.3 FM. Hello, good morning, Said Fuad.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Multiple celebrations to you. Happy Boxing Day, happy Friday, happy holiday, Merry Christmas. Season's greetings.
Thank you very much.
All right. I hope you have not finished the chicken, Sha.
Chicken. Well, I got
to recognize it this morning with big chicks.
I'll kill it. Well, I was overfed. I must say I was fed.
Imagine. Nice one.
But I'm fine. I'm good.
Right. I know you're always fine anyway. We choose to be fine. Yeah, and advocates of making sure that we choose to be fine.
Take care of yourself. I maintain it. I insist. Just take care of yourself.
Right. You're welcome on board side for us to Trends in the Papers.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So without further ado, because we have limited time every Friday, let's just kickstart. Insecurity issue in the country and the several efforts, the several meetings, the actions taken by the federal government so far, and even in collaboration with the United States, after Donald Trump had listed up or described the Nigeria as a country of concern. And so we're getting updates of what happened yesterday, Christmas Eve, that the U.S. launched numerous deadly strikes on terrorists in Nigeria. According to the President of the United States on his X handle, he said yesterday that U.S. forces actually conducted deadly strikes against Islamic State terrorists in the north. And of course, the federal government also had confirmed that and acknowledged the fact that found the ongoing security and intelligence cooperation between Nigeria, that's according to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which was signed by spokesperson Kimiyebi Ebienfa, saying that Nigerian authorities remain engaged in structured security cooperation with international parties, including the United States. I don't have any question. A couple of Nigerians would have been asking the question of, okay, what is the outcome of the numerous back and forth meeting we have, the collaboration we have, the United States especially, to tackle this issue of insecurity. But what's your reaction, Saifat?
All right, Nigeria and all over the world. beautiful celebration of Christmas. It was interesting to see the spirit of they were able to share amongst themselves, and it was a delight to see. So again, happy celebrations to all our Christians who are going to be unboxing, gifts and what have you. So now, the U.S. president has done what he had threatened to do of strikes, precision strikes on terrorist targets in parts of Sokoto State on what has been described as Islamic. It was almost, according to the U.S. president, again, we need to situate these issues and put them into proper context.
Right.
So that this particular strike, there have been reports of U.S. reconnaissance mission,
right,
surveillance mission have been reported that there seems to be drones, aircraft by the U.S. Military, sources. Have said that some of these missions have, mappings that can actually identify the locations
of
these people. Mission of the U.S. government in Nigeria under Donald Trump. And I think he said, look, a lot of people must have. He used to be the Secretary of Defense before Donald Trump changed it to Department. It used to be Department of Defense for tax. And in his own statement, somehow he referred to some form of collaboration and cooperation with and from the Nigerian government. What I've also done, because again, if you really want to know the mind of Donald Trump, what his government is trying to achieve with things like this, go check Fox News. So I've had to abandon CNN completely to look at what people on Fox News are saying. Because again, they seem to clearly speak the mind. Some of these things are happening over and over again. The question to ask ourselves is this: would this help? U.S. government might say, "Oh, they are targeting these people because they are killing Christians." We know that Christians in Nigeria, just about 2 days ago, if you remember, a mosque in Maiduguri was bombed. And the updates we are getting is that, look, it was done by a suicide bomber. So we must understand that, look, a sizable number, quite a number of these guys will be killed. Again, when they say precision strikes, I would expect that the U.S. intelligence is precise and solid enough to really, eat. That's our hope that, look, the precision strikes are actually precise and are actually eating these guys who have been killing Nigerians in different parts of the country. Now also, again, why they are helping to strike, we may be doing the cleanup. If you understand what I'm saying.
Right.
Because what they are going to do is to activate their sleeper cells, dissolve into our communities. So what it now means is that why these strikes are going on, again, hoping that there's some level of collaboration between that we have not been able to effectively do. We would expect that our military would have what it takes, would have the capacity to do the cleanup. So as they run helter-skelter, those of them who may be alive, who may want to, leave those hideouts to try to move into our communities, it would be nice to see that the Nigerian military authorities are waiting for the approach, trying to hide into our communities, is the one that is dead. So we really don't need to have a situation where we say we are arresting these guys and then tomorrow they have been pardoned because they are repentant.
We know what happened. We have reports of repentant terrorists, and at the end of the day, what happens?
They go back. That is on the surface. 100% of what I would have loved to discuss about this U.S. strike in Nigeria, I cannot discuss on radio. If whatever I'm saying now is 10% of what I would have loved to discuss or say on this particular matter. So if anybody is listening to me this morning and you are hoping to get my opinion on this issue, instead of what comes to mind, we cannot even discuss it on radio.
There are actually so many things. That's
good that, look, we are at least having somebody that can get the Nigerian government. That I think the Nigerian government has shown more intentions now. We saw that there was a little shake-up, for example, where we got someone, again appointed as Minister of Defense, and I think we've been seeing a lot of military activities, but we need to do more. These strikes by the U.S. government can, because what they are doing is to eat these guys are going to want to dissolve. The remaining splinter groups are going to want to dissolve. In fact, for some of them who are gathered in camps and in hideouts now, seeing what are the cleaning up of these guys who may want to dissolve, because what they now do is to split into our communities, into smaller groups, dissolve. You know, whether you like it or not, these things don't happen in isolation.
Right.
You also have sleeper cells in communities. You have collaborators. You know, you have saboteurs even within our own military. So the ability to do the cleanup is what comes to mind. Sovereignty of Nigeria, and how do we place that against a superpower that seems to be taking almost what you call a unilateral action in Nigeria? That's a conversation I will not discuss with anybody on radio. The other one, Lady Mo, is to begin to look at what could be other intentions of the UN radio.
Right.
So, but the most important part of the conversation for me that can be discussed on radio is to urge the Nigerian government to take advantage of whatever the US government may be doing in terms of these strikes, to now also do the needful by cleaning up the mess.
Right. Aside from also taking advantage.
We've tolerated the mess for too long. Can we now that we have strikes coming against these guys, now do the needful to clean up the mess completely?
Right. Especially in tackling the security issue. What US is doing, especially with the level of technology, is not what we cannot commit to and we cannot do. I don't know.
Done from a U.S. warship.
Right.
My mind tells me somewhere in the Gulf of Guinea. Because again, if you look at it, it's almost like a surface to when you have missiles coming from a warship and hitting targets. I've seen people reporting that they use drones. If you're going to go by the videos and the pictures you're seeing from Fox News, you might just conclude that look, maybe the U.S. warship is somewhere how far too behind when it comes to technological advancement to build our own drones. I don't think there's any way that has been reported that Nigeria.
We have potentials. We have. It's not like we don't have the resources.
We've always had potentials, Lady Mo. We've always had human resources. We have financial capacity to do these things. What is lacking is the commitment to do it, to doing it. It's not as if we don't have the. Don't be surprised that by the time you go into the research centers in the U.S., where immigration and say, they don't want people to come in. They know the people they want to. If you have the brain that they did, they're going to come here, take you into their country. So the question is, for example, universities in Nigeria, we have professors who are conducting research, who are coming up with technology in the US, who are able to do these things. I've done it because we've had leaders over the years who are committed to doing these things. They spend monies on it. They ensure this opportunity to say we have the capacity. Yes, I understand that we have the capacity. But, you can't have a situation where there's widespread corruption, where you have a lot of misgovernance all around the country, and you say that we're going to be able to do basic things like this. So what we would then do is to rely on countries who can sell some of these weapons to us. In fact, the reason why some of them are not even selling these weapons to us is that they don't even trust us. They don't even trust us because, again, when they sell the weapons to you, they want to be sure that these weapons will not get into the hands of the terrorists.
The wrong ones, the wrong guns.
So we would continue to hope that these collaborations will help to further secure Nigeria. And on these guys, these terrorists, it will not completely solve the problem. The Nigerian government still has a larger role to play in completely solving the problem.
Well, thank you very much, Said Fuad. Still trending in the papers on Mainland 98.3 FM. And we have that across our papers this morning about the airstrike from the U.S. that happened yesterday. To tackle alleged Christian genocide, which Trump had been clamoring on in Nigeria. Away from that, the Punch newspaper also captured what happened. A fully loaded 33,000 litre petrol tanker exploded along the Badagry.
Was it petrol or diesel? We're seeing.
We're seeing petrol tanker, actually.
That's according to the report.
Yes, according to the report, yes, especially Punch newspaper. And, with the report I've been seeing so far, that it went up in flames almost immediately after crashing. Yes, the Traffic Management Authority saying that the accident involved the fully loaded tanker, which report it just said petrol tanker. It's stated by excessive speed as the tanker driver reportedly in Inferno trapping and claiming the lives of the driver and also an adult female occupant. Quite unfortunate, Saifad.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Again, I think this happened in the early hours. I think around 4 a.m. Very early in the morning. So fewer people on the roads, I assume. But again, I think the reports are saying 2 persons. I've seen someone who had shared an eyewitness or that he had shared about 3 persons born to death. But whatever it is, again, what we should continue to talk about is how to safely move these products around the country, whether it is diesel or petrol. We've had too many cases of falling tankers. Again, because of maybe the timing, that's why you didn't have situations of people trying to scoop fuel, or maybe because as soon as it fell, it went up in flames. Because this is and we know what happens when things like that happen. So we've talked about how to come up with an idea to move these things around the country safely. Again, we can't stop the use of tankers to move petroleum products around the country. But who is checking, for example, the state of mind of these drivers and these things around the country?
Aside from that's a conversation. That's another big conversation on its own. Because
apart from the roadworthiness of the vehicles, you understand, that's another one. How mentally worthy are these guys who drive these things around the country? You don't understand what I'm saying. You will first talk about the roadworthiness of the vehicle. Because you've seen situations where these things have happened because the roads are bad.
Right.
So the roads are bad. Largely, many parts of the country have bad roads that these tankers have to move on. The vehicles themselves are not roadworthy because they are not roadworthy on unworthy roads. And then, how they have what they call motorboy, who is just a trainee, who is not supposed to really handle those vehicles. When they are tired, they hand over the vehicle to the person to just. So you have one manner of recklessness in the way we transport these things around the country, and it appears that nobody really cares. We move on. It happens, we just move on. It happens again, we move on. We talk about it, we move on. Nobody cares.
Especially 3 stages that you just mentioned, right? For a safe trip, 3 conditions to take cognizance
look into.
The condition of the road, the condition of the vehicle, and the condition of the person driving. Right. We'll definitely.
Those 3 things now get killed. All those 3 levels now get killed. So still their content. And vehicle owners are trapped in their chairs. In Otedola, we've seen reported cases of people when these things happen, they are trapped in their cars and they are burnt to death.
Right.
So nobody is safe, really. So far, you are a road user. You're actually not safe from what you are talking.
Reports even just recently about a pedestrian, that was hit by a driver, hit and run, and all a lot of things.
You may ask
actually.
If you drive around Lagos or you are just a motorist, you see they don't kill themselves alone. If you want to commit suicide, you just say that you just kill. But they go on ahead to kill other people by their own badness and recklessness. That's just the unfortunate thing.
Even pedestrians, motorists, all is well. That's in the Punch newspaper. Away from that also, we also have from the business page about budgets, especially 2020 towards 2026, right? We have just how many days to go to 2026, as the federal government had also presented the 2026 budget House of Assembly for assent, right? And according to analysis which was done by the Punch, it showed that wide disparities in funding for the education sector, which we see Anambra, Enugu, Kano, and Jigawa emerging as the leading states, while others trail far below recommended benchmarks for education, actually. So far, 34 governors have laid their 2025 budget proposals before lawmakers, and the analysis revealed that Anambra tops education funding nationwide with 46.9. We have the breakdown, actually. Kano State also follows suit closely with a high budget for education. We have the breakdown, of course, the lowest in the Punch newspaper, in case you want to get
into why Anambra is doing very well with unified exams. You see that if you look at results from JAM, for example, you have Anambra State doing very, very well. I think WAEC too.
Right.
I think from reports, it's been a consistent pattern right from the days of Mr. Peter Obi into Willie Obiano and co. I think it's been the commitment of these governors to
education,
quality education in the state. And so a
Say
lot of these things are just done to fulfill all righteousness. In reality, there are really no performances that comes into this thing.
The big work is the executive to commit and carry out all those activities in the budget.
Because if at the federal level, we can see budget failure consistently every year, to the extent that we are now running 2-3 budgets, governors to do more for education in their state. Two critical areas for me, I always talk about, Lady Mo. If they fail in other things, let them even at least do these two, health and education.
Education, right.
Health and education. I'm telling you, if they decide to fail in every other thing, whatever they are able to do, because the health of the people matter.
It starts from it takes an person to be educated.
Security too comes in, but again, on a larger scale, you think more of that should come from the federal level. But at the state level, the governors can at least do more for the people by controlling there's nothing happening. In our general hospital, we are not collecting money. You go there, they don't have ordinary say something to do to scan. You have to go out to go and pay. Half of the drugs that they give to you, they prescribe to you, you still have to go and buy it. But you are not collecting money. But in reality, almost 90% of the thing you need to do to get the service, you still have to go and pay for it from contractors and other people. So if they can at least give the people affordable and quality health care, and also affordable and quality education.
Papers on Mela 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. Going by the reports in the Guardian newspaper. Okay, someone said he's enjoying us from his village, Ekiti State. Thank you very much, Falomo Bolanle, for joining us on Facebook. Away from that, we got a rumor of a change of hands as chief of staff, and of course the presidency, JᴏɪR L쏘ᴅy, dismissing as false and misleading that viral claim circulating on social media, alleging that President Bola Tinubu had, replaced his chief of staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, with his principal private secretary, Akim Muri, in its entirety. We have that also across all newspapers this morning. I mean, since yesterday with the circulation and all of that. But some have been questioning the fact that there is no smoke without fire. But we want to ask him.
Whether there's smoke or there's fire, the question that comes to mind is, if the president today decides to replace his chief of staff, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila with Muri Okunla, how does that change anything? How does it affect you and I?
The change of hands that we've seen so far, from that of NNPC.
So I don't even know why this is making the news. But because the papers are reporting it, we'll talk about it. But in reality, it does not even affect anything. Because you have almost what you call a duplication of duty. In fact, you have private secretary, you have chief of staff, you have all manner of things. In the media section too many people are there, almost about 15 of them, doing a job that maybe 1 or 2 people can actually do. But the presidency is big, they have a lot of resources to throw around. So I'm not surprised by the number of appointments we see, even though they are still the same people who are supposed to be calling for what you call, the cutting down on the size of government. But again, for the sake of the fact that these things have been reported in the paper, a lot of people have said that a bit quiet, they have been more quiet around governance, the presidency. And that we are talking about Femi Gbajabiamila now. Actually, he's not been the very prominent Femi Gbajabiamila we saw at the start of this government. He's been a lot quiet. He's not really been available. He's not been too visible. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at now. Yes, he's been there, but if you knew how this government started and how prominent and visible he was, so maybe that is what must have fueled the rumor. But I think that at the end of the day, if he's replaced by Muri Okunla, for me, it does not change anything.
Well, thank you. Just quickly, from the St. Mary's Catholic schools in Niger State have been rescued and then reunited. Speaking about attacks, the Tinubu, I was supposed to take this with the attack. When you mentioned about the one that happened in Borno State just 2 days ago, the presidency had ordered security agencies to now intensify. I said that the federal government is to deploy, additional tactical teams to the area attacked by terror, definitely condemning the bomb explosion that claimed 5 lives and left several others injured at a mosque in Gamboru Market, political space, right? Especially the major opposition party. We're not surprised that we're still going to be getting defection all up until 2027. 6 Zamfara House of Assembly members also dumped the PDP for the APC. We have 6 elect to the nation's constitution by the state legislature as some of the major reasons for abandoning the PDP. They made this known on Wednesday while they were in Gusau, the state capital, after deliberating over the poor management of the legislative arm. They said that the arm.
All right. Now, Lady Mo, you see where the problem is now. Because when we say these things, when we complain about these things, country, is when we allow institutions to function. When we allow democracy to thrive the way
independently.
When we talk about the guardrails that are supposed to help firm up democratic tenets in the country, this is exactly what we see. A lot of times we complain majorly about what happens at the federal level. But you know what, Lady Mo? What you see at the top, at the federal level,
is as a result of
what is happening. It's also the same thing that operates at the state level. Just as we are already seeing a pattern. Well, do you know that across the states too, all the governors have also have their state assemblies in their pocket, except for maybe 1 or 2, like Rivers State, where there's a godfather controlling the assembly.
The governor is the god in the state.
It should not be. We are not even practicing democracy. What you have is a civilian rule because they own everything completely. The doctrine of checks and balances, separation of powers, we wipe them out completely and we pretend that we have a democracy. Even if we have a democracy, how functional is the democracy? And that is why there seems to be no dividend balancing, separation of power no longer exists.
Right.
Look at what the Zamfara guys are saying. The 6 of them who have now led the PDP to the APC against Zamfara.
It's depriving their constituents of
representation. While we were complaining about suspension of Natasha for 6 months, right. And in a state controlled by the PDP, because the state assembly has become rubber stamp, an extension of the governor's executive. How is what they are saying different from what happens at the national level? Lady Mo?
Control everything. Said because of our time,
you see where
the education gets in a large chunk of the budget in some part of the country, some states. Page 2 captures that. We also have Borno bomb blast sparks heightened security nationwide. That's what we have on the front page of the Punch. Page 2 captures that as well. Tax law mismatches pose serious risk. CIT NNPC directors pay SWAS 58% to 4 billion naira. And also, federal government reshuffles NCAA directors amid corruption allegations. And 7,900 inmates pardoned in 3 years. Page 7 captures that in the Punch. Thank you very much, Said Far, for your time. We'll step aside.